Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to learn how to draft the pattern for this beautiful top and skirt. So the first thing I did was I took the pattern I've already drafted. I have this already, so I'm retracing it on this brown pattern paper. So I have a video on how to draft this basic bodice pattern on this channel, so I'll share the link down below, so do well to go check it out so that you can draft yours. Here on the armhole line, I measured out 1 cm. This 1 cm is part of the ease I added when I was drafting this pattern. So because we needed this top to be tight, we had to take out the ease. Then I proceeded to measure the full length of the top. The full length I used here is 27. So as you can see, this pattern is already 27 inches. So on the hip line, I measured 1.5 inches. So the top is not supposed to be tight around the hip. So that's why I added 1.5 inches. So I connected it to the waistline. But then again, I just felt like the 1.5 inches is too small, so I added an extra half an inch, making it 2 inches. So I now connected it to the waistline. So at the hem, I measured 2.5 inches upward. This is to create the curve at the hemline. So at the shoulder, you can see there is dart there, but we need to eliminate the dart, so the total width of the dart is 1 cm. So at the edge, I measured out 1 cm. With my French curve, I withdrew the curve, connecting it to that new point. So there we have it for our new shoulder. At the center back on the hip line, I measured out 0.5 inches. So with my ruler, I connect it to the line on the waistline. So it's time to cut out the pattern. So I started cutting it out. When I got to the armhole line, I realized that the armhole needs to be widened out a bit. So I went ahead and I measured 1 cm from the armhole line downwards. So using my French curve, I drew in the curve again. So I went ahead to finish cutting out the pattern. So this is what the back bodice looks like. So just like I did for the back, I took out my basic bodice pattern for the front and I retraced it onto the paper. So I went ahead and I grabbed my basic skirt pattern, so I used it and retraced it. This is just to increase the length of the top. So starting from the shoulder, I measured the full length of the top, which is 27. Now the pattern paper is 27 already. So at the hip line, I measured out 2 inches. So using my ruler, I connected it to the waist. So at the hemline, I measured upwards 2.5 cm. This is for the curve at the hem. So at the armhole, I measured 1 cm out. This is to eliminate the ease there. Then I came down 1 cm as well. This is to open up the armhole. Then connected the point down to the waistline. I'm also drawing the new armhole curve. So from the new armhole line, I measured 2.5 inches downwards. This is to create the bust dart. In order to create the bust dart, I need to eliminate the dart at the shoulder and move it down to this line I created at the bust. So with my scissors, I cut open the dart at the shoulder, then went ahead to cut open this line I drew at the bust and move it. So to create the neckline, I measured 5 inches downwards and marked the point. So I went ahead to connect the point at the neck to the tip of the shoulder. I took out the pattern for the back, then I measured the curve at the neck. What I got from this measurement, I mark the point on this slanted line that extended to the back. Then at that same point, I measured half an inch out. Why I measured this half an inch out is to help the neckline, the neck at the back, to relax very well. At the slanted line, I proceeded to measure 1.5 inches. But later on, I felt like the 1.5 inches was too much, so I reduced it down to 1 inch. Using my ruler, I connected this point all the way to the back. But I have to curve it down to that 5 inches I measured from the neckline downwards, so that's what I did right here. So I curved it to that point. So this is what it looks like. And I proceeded to cut out the rest of the pattern out. So here, first of all, the front shoulder and the back shoulder will be sewed together. Then the extended neckline from the front will be sewed to the back neck. So I went ahead and grabbed the pattern for the basic sleeve. So I drew several vertical lines on the pattern paper. Then I used my scissors and cut all of them open. Then place it on a new pattern paper. So I went ahead to measure the width of the sleeve. So the width I used was actually 25 inches. And the full length of the sleeve was 26 inches. Then I placed the pattern on the paper again and spread it out. Then from the armhole line, I drew a line down to the hem of the sleeve. So here I am measuring just to make sure that the length is correct. Then I added an extra 1.5 inches. This is to fold the hem of the sleeve and also where the elastic will pass through. And also label the front and the back. So I grabbed the skirt pattern again and retrace it on the pattern paper. So this pattern is actually for the front. The full length for the skirt is 20 inches, waistband included. So I used 2 inches for the waistband and 18 inches for the rest of the skirt. At the side seam on the hemline, I measured 1.25 inches. Then I used my ruler to connect the point towards the hip line. So I went ahead and did the same thing for the back. I retraced the pattern on the paper. Then I measured the full length of the skirt here as well. At the side seam on the hemline, I proceeded to measure 1.25 inches. Using my ruler, I connected the point to the hip line. So now this is what they both look like.